And we are live. So, welcome to episode 309 of An American Werewolf. I am Michael Martin, the American Werewolf, and I'm part eggplant. In the house tonight, we've got Tony DiGirolamo, author of The Pineys. What's happening, man? Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. And we've got proud Sicilian. Kidding. My family is from
Casandrino up in Naples.
The font
far away from Sicily, but you don't mess with the Sicilians.
Far away from Sicily. All right. And that's a good thing, you're saying?
It's a good thing.
Okay, it's a good thing. So that's what's important.
This fucking guy.
So we are now in week 3 of our Tony Scott month. We started with Man on Fire. We went last week, you and I, Bill, for my first time viewing of The Hunger. And now we come to the third week in what is arguably, at the very least, his most popular film. Sure. We're talking about Tony Scott's True Romance. So if you guys are ready to go, shall we get it going?
Hit it.
Boogie boogie. So before we get started, I want to send out our well wishes and prayers to John K. Alvarez, who unfortunately is still in the hospital following what should have been a rather routine procedure, but still struggling. We're keeping in touch with him pretty much on a daily basis. As of this afternoon, it looks favorable for a release, so he can be back home and resting and hopefully get back on the show. So,
get well soon, John.
Yeah, we're thinking of you, man. John has been here pretty much within the first 10 episodes. So he's been here from the get-go, and he is a huge part of the show. We wish him well and to get his ass back here so we can all shoot the shit together. Okay, this is from Wikipedia. True Romance is a 1993 American romantic crime drama directed by Tony Scott and written by Quentin Tarantino. It stars Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette with Dennis Hopper, Val Kilmer, Gary Oldman, Brad Pitt, and Christopher Walken in supporting roles. Slater and Arquette portray newlyweds who head to California with a stolen suitcase full of drugs, with the Mafia in close pursuit, and their future very uncertain. True Romance began life as an early script by Tarantino. He sold the screenplay in order to finance his debut feature film, Reservoir Dogs. It is regarded by proponents as a cross-section of writer Tarantino and director Scott's respective trademarks, including a Southern California setting, pop culture references, and stylized violence punctuated by slow motion. Though initially a box office failure, the film's positive reviews, with critics praising the dialogue, characters, and offbeat style, helped it earn a cult following. It has come to be considered one of Scott's best films.
And James Gandolfini is also in it.
There are a lot of people in here. We're going to get into that. Let's go with Tony. What are your? I take it this is not your first time viewing it. I don't think that this film is streaming anywhere. I just happen to own a. Okay, it's not. So you'd have to either own a copy. Oh, they say for some reason they say it's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix because I was just about to say I watched it a second time with my girlfriend who hadn't seen it.
Very nice, very nice. Did she enjoy it?
She enjoyed it. I almost never watch a movie twice, but I did watch that one twice because I do like it. It's really good. It's fun. It's exciting. It's funny. It's got a good mix. You know, some of Tarantino's stuff can get a little bloody and grueling and dark, and it goes over the edge. Whereas this, a lot of it's pretty light and fun. You know, especially like Brad Pitt's character and some of the. I mean, like everybody's in this damn movie. That's the amazing part about it.
Yeah. Let's go with the Pride Sicilian here. What do you think of the movie?
I came to this movie really, really late. It's been around since '93, but I probably didn't see it until 2012, maybe 2013. But when I finally did sit down and watch it, I loved it. I had no idea it was Quentin Tarantino at the time. I just watched it and was going, wow, this reminds me of a Tarantino movie the whole time. I had no idea it was Tony Scott. Didn't really catch on to that until later, but I must have watched this 20 times since the first time I watched it. It's just a fantastic watch. And you're right, every goddamn person is in it. Like everybody that I love from all kinds of shows just show up in it.
It's funny, you know, we started out the month of June with Man on Fire from 2004, and then we went back 20 years, from Man on Fire to The Hunger, and now we've jumped in the middle to 1993 with True Romance. And you can see, if you look at it chronologically from The Hunger to True Romance to Man on Fire, the evolution of Tony Scott and what he tries to do. Because one of my criticisms of The Hunger was that it was trying to do something, but it couldn't seem to be able to pull off the depth of the story. The betrayal, so on and so forth. I did like that they didn't dawdle too much, blah, blah, blah. Then we get to this, and like Tony says, it's fun. It's a bit of escapism, but it does have depth to it. And you care about the characters, and you're invested in them. And we'll get into individual performances in a second. But then you get to 10 years after that, and we get to Man on Fire, which is my personal favorite of his films. And there's just a ton of depth. And like Bill said at the beginning, when we covered it, the first half is nothing but character development.
Yeah.
Until the action starts, and then it kind of kicks off into what it is. I saw this probably when it first came out, not in the theaters, but on the VHS. I had friends who showed it to me. I thought it was great. I didn't know who Quentin Tarantino was. I certainly didn't ever anticipate seeing Christian Slater as a leading man, but I thought he did a great job in this.
Yep.
And I certainly had never seen Patricia Arquette before, and I think she actually just steals the show. Sure. She is just, this is like, I've never seen too much follow-up with Patricia Arquette after this, but I think she is just flawless in this performance as this sort of bimbo-y, but loving, maybe those aren't necessarily paradoxical terms, this loving sort of bimbo wife, ex-call girl, Alabama Worley. And she's just stunningly beautiful and fair, and, nothing ever seems to really dampen her spirits. The supporting cast, you got Walken, you got Hopper, You got Michael Rappaport, you got Chris Penn, you got Tom Sizemore. I mean, everybody's just in this thing. Gary Oldman, Sam Jackson. It's just fantastic. Let's see. I mean, it starts off based. I mean, just so you understand, my birthday's coming up in November. So if anybody wants to give me anything, feel
Never
free.
too early.
Huh?
Never too early.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got. It says it's a whirlwind romance where love makes ordinary or flawed people brave, bold, and unstoppable. Clarence and Alabama fall madly in love, get married immediately, and embark on a chaotic adventure fueled by their devotion. Love gives them courage to face down pimps, mobsters, and cops, turning them into modern Bonnie and Clyde figures who, quote, live fast, die young, and leave a good-looking corpse. And you get Val Kilmer as Elvis as well. It's delusional optimism in action. Their bond rigs the universe in their favor, letting them escape with the drugs, the money, and a happily ever after. It certainly is a piece of escapism because it starts out where he's just in this bar by himself and he's talking to a girl, and I forget her name, but she does a lot of character acting. And he's talking to her about Sonny Chiba and Elvis. And, you can see he's trying to like get the conversation to shift, but he doesn't know how to do it. I'd fuck Elvis. Okay, we both fuck Elvis. Great. That sort of opens it. And then he invites her to go to the movies with him. And she's like, yeah, I'm not going to like a Kung Fu movie with you. And so it starts out setting the tone that he's not a ladies' man, on his birthday, has no idea. He's just got like every year on his birthday, he goes to the movies, and that's it. But then in comes Patricia Arquette's character into the movie theater, and the story just kind of explodes from there. And I think one of the funnier things is the conversation between them when she sort of confesses that she's a call girl. And he says, I knew something had to, there's no way you could have liked me that much. I was just glad that when you took off your dress, you didn't have a dick.
That one made me laugh out loud. Every single time I hear it, I have to laugh.
Yeah.
It's delivered with such panache.
It occurs to me, and Tony, maybe you'll have a difference of opinion, or both of you. Could you make a movie like this today?
You could try. It wouldn't be popular. It's definitely a movie of its time. I mean, 91 to 95, there were dozens of movies like this coming out with lots of Gen X pulp culture referencing and very self-aware and very ironic. And this one just fits right in its time. It's sort of like the Jarmusch movie we watched, Night on Earth. Same sort of style and aesthetic at work.
I think you absolutely could make this movie today. I mean, Alabama is really surprising. Patricia Arquette doesn't just play a bimbo, doesn't just play a femme fatale. In the scene with her and James Gandolfini, she really just comes into her own and fights back, and it's an amazing scene. And all the scenes with her are really good because she is her own person and never apologizes for it. And I think that's a really good example of a strong female character. And I don't know why Hollywood would be against that, quite frankly.
I don't think anybody would have the guts to make a movie like this. It's so caustic. There are just so many things that we as Gen X people just take for granted. That I think if people saw a script like this today, in 2026, no one would have the guts to do it. Should they do it? Of course they should. I just don't think that they probably would. It says, it's got pop culture escapism. Clarence is a comic book store clerk obsessed with film. Sonny Chiba, martial arts, and Elvis' story feels like a fanboy's ultimate fantasy, killing the bad guy, stealing the cocaine, winning the dream girl, and navigating Hollywood with inside swagger. Let's see. Hold on a second.
You know what's interesting about this movie is one of the screenplays that Tarantino was willing to sell, and he seemed to be experimenting with that sort of the same thing. The two star-crossed lovers with all the culture referencing. Natural Born Killers, of course, they were actually psychopaths, and they weren't. They were sort of anti-heroes where they were killing lots of people. Where this one, the couple is sort of not killers, but just thrown into a situation where they have to. But it's very different, different stories, different takes on the same kind of dynamic.
I remember when that movie came out, Natural Born Killers, and people were just obsessed with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it being that great. I'd have to look at it again. I only saw it the one time. And it was like late, and finally we got it on VHS, and so on and so forth. But yeah, maybe I'll look
another movie written by Tarantino and ruined by the director, because no one can direct Tarantino except Tarantino and do it right.
I think part of the problem with Natural Born Killers is the main characters are kind of justified in their actions because everybody they kill is like a jerk. That's sort of like the movie justification for killing people. But the side characters are all vicious scumbags. Like almost every supporting character in Natural Born Killers is so unbelievably unlikable, which I think is part of the, push to make the main characters more justified in what they're doing. So, but the film itself, it makes it a lot more darker. Whereas all the side characters in this one, even though they're scumbags, they're kind of fun scumbags. I mean, Gary Oldman's character is just
brilliant,
completely amazing and hilarious to watch. Even when he gets, dark and evil, he's just so much fun to watch.
Well, in this movie, there's a dichotomy. There's the good characters and the bad characters, and they're very, very obvious. Like Michael Rappaport and Brad Pitt and Dennis Hopper, the good guys, and you're rooting for them, even though they're either cataclysmically stoned or they're just destined to die. You're like, hey, I'm rooing for you. Whereas the bad guys,
they're like kind of fun, right? Because like.
Kill them. Yeah.
Tom Sizemore has a line where he says, "I like this kid."
Yes.
Right. Like he's kind of game. He's kind of game to see where Clarence is going. Same thing with Gary Oldman's character. He's kind of amused by him at first and his bravado, and kind of gives them a little bit too much of a leash, and then that ends up biting him in the A.
Well, I mean, that's the interesting thing about Christian Slater. It's like a couple of movies. It's almost like Kingdom of Heaven in a sense, where you got Orlando Bloom. He doesn't look like a leading guy, so it's easy to take his character for granted. If he had walked in there like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something like that, it wouldn't have worked. But he's just this little tiny guy. But because he loves this woman so much, he like the very next morning, there he is taking on her pimp, which in his right mind, no one's going to do. It's going to be like, okay, we're away from that. Let's just, keep our distance and start our lives again. But he's got to do this. And he, they end up getting all the drugs, and then he goes off to Dennis Hopper, who also plays a fantastic role as Christian Slater's father. And the supporting characters are only in it, I'd say, for about 15 minutes each.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, like none of them last throughout the entire scope of the movie. That's
a Tarantino thing where he just starts throwing characters in there. And it's like a constant parade of side characters.
It's really a fantastic script. It's got fantastic pacing. It's 2 hours long. It doesn't feel like that.
Right.
It feels like about 90 minutes. It's a really, really good script.
And I think where Scott's, talent comes in is not only the pacing, but how every event sort of cascades into the next event and builds to the final resolution in the hotel room, which is just completely out of control and chaotic and a total mess. Sometimes in the Tarantino movies that that happens, but it doesn't quite build that way in a Tarantino movie. It just kind of happens. Whereas this really built. Like, you felt that by the time the mobsters got there, they were really pissed off. You know, they were pissed off in the beginning, but then by the time they got to the hotel room, they were like, we got to get this guy.
It's interesting because you're right. There is like a buildup, you know, and then James Gandolfini's character is killed, you know, and then, you know, there's amusement but frustration having to deal with Brad Pitt, you know, who's just sort of gives these rambling fucking answers, you know, so on and so forth. And then, you know, everybody's aggravated by the time the final conflict occurs. The cops are pissed off. The fucking security guards, and I just love that fucking scene from Boris. You know, one thing I forgot to tell you, I fucking hate cops. You know? He's just
that's the best line in the whole thing. I mean,
yeah.
I forgot to tell you, I hate cops. Just like kills me every time.
It says Tarantino sold the script for $50,000. That's the Writers Guild minimum. To fund Reservoir Dogs, it said it's arguably his most autobiographical, full of his obsessions, like Kung Fu and, you know, Elvis and, you know, so on and so forth. The original was non-linear. Scott made it linear and more conventional. Early bits drew from Tarantino's amateur film, My Best Friend's Birthday.
Yeah.
Tony Scott wasn't the first choice. B-horror director William Lutzig was attached but clashed with producers. Scott fell in love with the characters and insisted on a happy ending. Tarantino initially wanted something darker, but came around, appreciating how Scott brought out the fairy tale elements. And it does play out a bit like a fairy tale.
Mm-hmm.
Scott also slapped Patricia Arquette with permission as a persuader for intense scenes. So it says Gary Oldman reused his Dracula wig costume team for the Wild Pimp ride. That was cool. Brad Pitt's Floyd improvised most lines and flew in for a tiny but memorable part.
Nice.
James Gandolfini's Virgil role helped launch his career, leading to The Sopranos. Yeah.
What about Michael Rappaport? Does a pretty good job as
Dick Ritchie. As Dick Ritchie. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a great fucking name, Dick Ritchie. Dick Ritchie, you know. And Rappaport is one of those guys. I don't know. Did he give up acting? I mean, he's so young there. He looks so young.
Yeah, he's
and he did a really, really good job. But then, like, I don't know whatever happened.
He was in Fallout. He was in he's in the first season of Fallout.
He's around. He's been doing a lot of political stuff on X, so he might be getting passed over for roles. People are afraid
he's running for mayor of New York.
Crazy. Yeah.
It said Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette had real chemistry because they were briefly involved. So, yeah.
Well, you know, that's the thing when you've got two attractive actors, and they're playing a romantic leads. And if they're single, I don't know if they were both single at the time, but a lot of times to get the body language right, they'll just start, you know, dating during the movie, you know, and that like gives you instant rapport, you know, and they did have great rapport in the movie, I think.
Yeah.
They felt like a real couple. You know, the exception to me has always been Eyes Wide Shut with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Like, I'm watching the movie going, I don't believe these two are married. And they're married.
Yeah. Tony, were you here when we no, you weren't. We covered Eyes Wide Shut, and that was interesting because that was when the last bit of the Epstein thing was dropping, and there was an internet rumor that Kubrick was blowing the whistle because the original script of Eyes Wide Shut was that it wasn't about orgies. It was about a huge network of pedophiles. And so the room inside the room at the party was actually a pedophile room, which sort of makes sense. And that's what, like, at the end of the movie, they said that's what, like, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman end up sacrificing their daughter to the group, their little girl, which actually makes sense when you think about it in a way, because let's say you were in a movie with, like, you know, like you're part of an orgy group, that's hardly worth killing anybody over. Like, it would be weird, but that, you know, you're like, okay, all right, you caught me at an orgy. Who gives a fuck? But like threaten somebody over it. That doesn't make any sense. As opposed to this other thing, which would be much darker, that they said that the producers forced him to edit out of the movie 20 minutes out.
Maybe. I mean, Kubrick was famous for filming hours and hours and hours of footage and, editing and editing and editing and editing. So we'll probably never know. But, I mean, it's possible, sure. Those crazy, culty, masky, highfalutin, clubs, the rumors are bad. The old rumors used to be that they were all like Satanists and that they had a cult. Yeah. Or that they worship some demonic entity from beyond the stars, like an H.P. Lovecraft. That would always be the H.P. Lovecraft explanation. Oh, here we go. Christopher Walken at a great turn.
I think this is my favorite supporting actor in the film. Again, in it for maybe 10 minutes. And it's magical. It's perfect. He's just perfect. He's the mob lawyer / head enforcer, torturing Dennis Hopper for information. And, Hopper comes back with like one of the great fucking monologues in modern film. And this is another reason why I don't think you can make this film today, because, that sort of monologue would just be fucking castigated. I mean, they'd be burning down studios if you tried to make a line like that today.
Tarantino was fearless with that shit. I mean, even what's his name tried to take him to task about his liberal use of the N-word.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm not having that. That's that's my universe, and you have nothing to say about it. You can't find a person who'll do that now.
Right.
Yeah, and it's crucial to the scene. Unlike a lot of other scenes where that word gets dropped. It's absolutely crucial to the scene, because what Dennis Hopper is doing is he's pushing Christopher Walken over the edge so he kills him before he tortures the real information out of him.
Right. And that, I think that's an important part. That's an important thing right there, Tony. What you're saying is that the word has real impact and meaning, and that's why he's doing it, as opposed to you could be watching, I hate to say it, but a black film where it's like every other word, and you're like, it just, the point becomes meaningless. There is no point. But here, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's not like Dennis Hopper is using the word in a way that he's racist. It's really the mob guys who are racist because the word sets them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all about context. See, that's what a lot of these people out in Hollywood forget. It's all about the context of the scene. And I think, though, now we're entering in a new phase of development for movies. Now with Backrooms and Obsession, absolutely embarrassing Hollywood. And I think there's more embarrassments to come, possibly this summer. With the exception of Spider-Man, you're going to see a lot of more embarrassing flops. I mean, I think Supergirl is headed for disaster.
Yeah. No one wants to see
that. The Mandalorian flopped.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah. Supergirl's going to flop. You know what else was good that I loved? And I never played the game, but I thought the movie was just fucking fantastic. Iron Lung.
I want to see that movie because I've heard good things,
I went in the theater, was mobbed full of fucking YouTubers and fucking geeks, and we're all just sitting there just mesmerized like the entire time, and everybody just stood up and fucking clapped when it was over with.
Wow.
Fantastic film. Getting back to this one, though, another favorite actor for me, and it was Bronson Pinchot.
Oh, yeah.
As the Weasley fucking assistant. But another scene stealer. And again, another guy who never really, he never made it huge, but when he's in there, you notice him.
Oh, that sitcom was huge, though. And I hated that sitcom. It was everywhere for a long time.
What was it?
Oh, yeah, that was a big sitcom. It went a lot of seasons.
But yeah.
What was it called?
Perfect Strangers.
Is that it?
Was that it?
I don't know.
I think it was called Perfect Strangers. But he was huge. And then he did this movie with John Larroquette. It's one of 3 movies I ever walked out on called Second Sight. And it was brutally bad, like unwatchably bad. And he plays like some wacky psychic character. It was supposed to be like a knockoff of Ghostbusters, and it so didn't work. But he's great in this. And I think part of the reason an actor like him, for me, I love him in this role is because he's so annoying. He's like the worst guy ever. So I love it when actors who I don't like are in those roles, because it just makes it that much better for me.
Well, they say if you don't like him, that means he's doing his job. And it's a character you're not supposed to like. That means he's doing his job. So, yeah, that's another one that works. Again, Gandolfini, very thin, very streamlined. James Gandolfini delivering a pretty brutal, performance as these. Hold on, let me get that out of there. Just beating the shit out of Patricia Arquette. I remember the first time I saw that, I'm like, wow, this is fucking rough.
Yeah.
Like really, slapping her around, beating the shit out of her. It's not all bacon and eggs in this for them. It's kind of rough. It's because they've ended up stealing like $500,000 accidentally by stealing the wrong suitcase. And I guess they get the idea to try to sell it.
That Dick Ritchie is the one who has to help them sell it, and then Bronson Pitt shows the connection. And in that Gandolfini scene too, he's game for the fight with Patricia Arquette because he gives her a free shot. Like he's got the gun, he's about to kill her, and he's like, go ahead, take one shot. And then she like stabs him in the foot, and it all goes to hell for him.
It's a good, like, this noticeably better than The Hunger? I would say yeah. I would say absolutely. It's a better script. You got better performances. I think his expression, even though he's doing it in small pieces, of creating depth in the characters has improved in the 10 years between the one movie and the next. Yeah, absolutely. Until he gets to, and if I had been thinking on my feet, we would have done them chronologically. We could have done The Hunger, and then we could have done this, and then we would have done Man on Fire.
It's definitely just like The Hunger. It's a product of its time, and I think in '93 movies in general were better. I mean, The Hunger. It's not like an outlier. It's not like a movie that doesn't work just because of Tony Scott. I think that movie fits in with the movies of the time. They all seem to have those deficiencies that you're pointing out.
Not all of them, but I think that that was his first movie. So is there market improvement at the 10-year mark? Is there market improvement at the 20-year mark by the time we get to Man on Fire? Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
And '90s were a good time for action comedies, and comedies in general. So there was a lot. Like most of the movies were very quick. They were a tight 90. That's where the industry was at, in a lot of respects, at its peak in the recent years. I mean, if you set aside the 70s where you have the Renaissance, but movies would come in and they'd hit you, and then they'd be done, and they wouldn't wear out their welcome. Now we have these movies that are over 2 hours, and it drives me insane. I see 2 hours and 9 minutes, and I go, there's no excuse for that. There's none. I don't want to see a movie that long unless you're really bringing something amazing to the table. Like Lord of the Rings, yes, that movie should be, I don't care that every episode's like 2.5 hours long. But when you're talking about a movie like this, it's got to be a tight 90. Come on.
You think this movie should have been shorter?
Yeah.
And I think
it doesn't feel short.
I think you guys are just old, and your attention spans have gone away.
The Hunger should have been longer, and it probably suffers from from the producers trying to make it fit into 90 minutes, because it's way before there was a tolerance for 2.5 hour movies.
I don't see how you can say that. I mean, having us grown up on DeMille and William Wyler and Coppola, and we grew up on 3 and 4 hour movies, and then somehow, I mean, I understand that went away in the '80s, but that was our diet growing up.
Yeah, but The Hunger was a genre flick, is a vampire flick. It wasn't Apocalypse Now, where we're gonna put up with 4 hours worth of story.
I think that The Hunger wasn't really a horror flick. It was just a story where the characters happen to be vampires. It's like one of those kinds of things. And I think it could have stayed at 90 if you had pulled some of the other unnecessary things out, like the boyfriend, like Susan Sarandon's boyfriend, and a couple of other things, and then expanded more on the, oh God, what was the actress's name? The French actress. The lead.
I don't remember, but it's all about what you said. I think keeping the scenes in that are necessary. Like every scene in True Romance is necessary. It builds upon each other, or you're expanding upon one of the side characters, so that when we get to that final scene, it's even funnier. So when Bronson Pinchot betrays his friend. It's such a big revelation. Like, man.
How do you know his name? How the fuck does he know your name? You piece of shit, He's like, you son of a bitch. And that's what starts the shooting. Now, here is this 5 minutes we should have cut out.
No,
you got to keep flowing. This may be my favorite fucking Brad Pitt role. He's in it probably for a total of 5 minutes, and just it's fucking great. Is it necessary? No, it's completely unnecessary.
No. Tony Scott makes it necessary because Floyd tells the mafia.
Directions. He tells everybody where to go. Yeah. And this was during the Brad Pitt heyday, when he was still like the matinee idol, and all the girls were swooning over him, and this, that, and the other. And he just comes in and plays this fucking stoner in a pair of sweatpants. Fucking condescend me, man. I'll fucking kill you.
That's pre-12 Monkeys, when everyone went, oh, wait a minute, he can do more than just be, Meet Joe Black.
Yeah.
And this is another problem with, I think, Hollywood. Is like, there's not a lot of actors willing to do these roles anymore. Like, I really love these little side characters who they're not the main characters. They're just one-offs or whatever. And then they do their scenes and then they're done.
Yeah.
Because it's all about Christian Slater and Patricia Arquette.
The only one who'll do that now is Justin Long, and he doesn't do it enough anymore. He used to do every movie for 5 minutes, kill it, and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Every once in a while, he does it in the horror genre.
Mm-hmm.
He'll show up in a movie for like 10 minutes, and people freak out when they see him, like, holy shit, it's just, and then he's gone, and he's off like that. I love also in this film that they're watching the shittiest Anthony Hopkins movie of all time, Free Jack, with Emilio Estevez. It's like the worst fucking movie of all time. And
Mick
like
Jagger's in that movie.
Out of Anthony Hopkins' head. What's this, Tony?
Mick Jagger's in that too.
Is he really? Oh, Jesus. They should have just played Johnny Mnemonic or something like that with Dolph Lundgren and Keanu and like Henry Rollins.
What was the movie that Gene Simmons from Kiss was in famously that came out around the same time as the Mick Jagger movie?
Is that the one with Tom Selleck and the robots? And,
yes.
They kill people. I know. Runaway. That's it.
Runaway. Yeah. That was. I actually liked that movie. I only saw it once, but I remember it favorably. At least, that was what I could relate to at that time. I was probably 12 or 13 or something like that.
The all-time best movie from that time, and I constantly mention this on my videos, is Looker with Albert Finney. Because Looker predicted the movie industry today. Because the premise of Looker is that it's in the not too distant future, and Hollywood now shoots movies and TV shows using computers. Now, this was done in the 80s, so the technology wasn't quite there to even do that right. But the premise is they scan in the actors naked, and then they don't need them anymore, because with the computer they discovered that they would have scores for how they looked as they moved, but every time they moved, their score would go too far down. So they discovered that if they scanned them in the computer, they could keep their scores at 100% for the entire movie or commercial or whatever. So the plot of the movie is they scanned in all these actors and they're killing them one by one, so they don't have to pay them royalties anymore. And but it's a great movie in that it predicted sort of where we're headed with AI.
AI. There's a couple of big names who've already, or their estates have already signed over their likeness. I can't remember the names though.
I know that Michael Douglas did. Michael Douglas said he did.
Did he really? He already signed over his likeness. Okay.
Yeah, so he can enjoy the money.
Yeah. I mean, is it good? Is it bad? Do we not know?
It's not good yet. I mean, I've seen some AI stuff that's okay.
No, I mean, is it good? Yeah, I mean, obviously AI has a long way to go in terms of quality. You know, even what we're getting in consumer grade now, but it's like advancing so quickly. But I mean, is it a good thing that these people are signing over their likenesses? Because there's a strong movement, you know, led by people like Justine Bateman, who are saying like this is fucking like murder, like you're murdering the creative arts and originality, and you know.
The only thing they're murdering is the kind of shows that sucked anyway, right? So
yes,
there was this website a while back. It was called something like Nothing Forever, and what it was a 8-bit Seinfeld episode on a continuous loop with the characters just randomly walking around in the Seinfeld sets, and they would randomly say things, and people loved it. People loved it for a hot minute. That was like the hottest website on the internet. So that's the kind of thing you're going to get with this AI. You're going to get, somebody's going to take Three's Company. All the actors will be dead by then. They're going to buy the rights, top to bottom. They're going to put them all into an AI and say, give me endless episodes of Three's Company so I can put it on my channel and charge, you know, money and entertain people. And the people who haven't seen Three's Company will, for a short time, be entertained until they see enough episodes to realize that it's just grinding through the same material over and over and over again, just in different combinations.
Well, I mean, we all know that Three's Company dropped considerably after Suzanne Summers left. So there was, you know, once she's gone, there's really nothing to talk about.
But see, now she never has to leave.
Now you're stuck in a fantasy loop. It's just constant Suzanne Summers.
Norman Fell can stay there forever.
You know something? Norman Fell should stay there.
Right. Mr. Furley never has to show up.
I love Mr. Furley.
The ropers.
Or you put them all in there. Like it's like an endless, you know, group of characters that you could just keep moving around. It's the thing is, at some point, people will just go, this is all fluff and nonsense. But then at some point, they'll give it to a kid, you know, one of these backroom kids or the obsession kid, someone like that. And they'll say, listen, kid, we've got this Three's Company thing and people watched it for a while, but we need new stuff. Can you write us some new stuff and we'll pay you a little bit of money? And he'll do it, and it'll become the hottest thing on the internet or whatever we're listening to with that. And then people will realize that you got to follow creators. And I think that's what AI will be. I mean, for me and the Pineys, I can finally do the Pineys movie as soon as this technology gets a little further along. And I'm already making plans to do that. I'm going to scan myself in to be one of the characters. I got my friend who's an actor. He's going to be one of the characters. And we're going to scan in people we know, make them the characters, and we can do the Pineys as much as we want. I can do all the books one at a time, and I can make the monsters, and we can run amok and blow people's heads off and wreck cars, and it won't cost us a dime.
I've had an idea, and I've discussed this on the show before. I don't know if anybody remembers that. I've had a story for like a 3-act werewolf story. I don't know, novella, whatever. It takes place over 3 nights. Right here in this hometown that I live in right here. Like geographically, I've got it spaced out, this, that, and the other. I'll probably never be able to get it published, or made into a film, but it is something that, if I wanted to, and, the AI advances quickly enough, that I could just sort of generate my own film, that kind of thing. It would be pretty cool. And I'll throw Suzanne Summers in there as a.
Yeah. And what you might see is these platforms, instead of being platforms that have movies and TV shows, what they'll have are actors and concepts and creators and just a library, right? And you'll be able to say to the Netflix library, hey, I would like to see Star Wars starring the Blues Brothers with original music. And I also want to see Sydney Sweeney in it. And could you resurrect, I don't know, George C. Scott to be in it somewhere? And you could just give the AI all these parameters and it'll just make a movie for it. And you'll see it and you'll either like it or hate it. And then you'll keep it in your queue or you'll just delete it and that'll be it. And that's what people could do in the future. They'll just take their own versions of things to make it better for their particular viewing experience. So like for me, I want 90-minute type movies, right? So I'll say, hey, I want to see The Odyssey, only I want to see it made by Quentin Tarantino instead of Christopher Nolan. And it's got to be a tight 90 and they all have guns. And boom, the AI will give me what I want.
Did you see the AI? Did you see the AI that they did of they're sort of mocking the Odyssey, and it's that scene from Troy where Orlando Bloom takes Eric Bana down into the hold of the ship to bring up Helen of Troy, except it's Lupita Nyong'o, and so she pulls back.
I didn't see that one.
And Eric Bana is like, "Why is the maid down here?" He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And so he takes her up to the top of the ship, and he's like, "We're not going to war over a maid." And he like throws her over the fucking side of the boat, like the fucking boat just keeps on going. It's so fucking rude. I was dying laughing. Holy shit! It was hysterical.
I saw the one with Elliot Page. Is the one I thought you were going to say, where she's Achilles.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and she fights that big giant guy in the beginning or something like that, and he does bink like this, and she goes flying. I don't think we knew how good we had it. I just watched Troy the other day, and it's not the greatest movie I've ever seen, but it's actually Wolfgang Peterson. You've got O'Toole, you've got a lot of good people there. A lot of good people in that flick. All right. Is there anything about this film? Because we've been sort of all over the place a little bit, but it's kind of an all over the place kind of movie, and it's just a little.
Yeah, for what it's worth, this movie score sucks really bad. The music in this movie needs to be replaced. That's one thing that having Tarantino direct his own movies, that guy really knows music and really knows how to make music become a character in your movie. And this. All that xylophone, but garbage can drumming stuff in there. It was just awful. It needs a better score. It needs some better songs. They hardly had any Elvis songs in it. For a movie that's all about a kid who's obsessed with Elvis. There's almost no Elvis movie. There's almost no Elvis songs in this. So it needs a better score.
Yeah, that didn't really bother me. I don't know why. I can't even think of one of the songs in the movie now.
Exactly.
So that may be fine for me because I was more focused on the story rather than sort of the accoutrements. But yeah, that's an interesting thought. I love the look of the movie. It's got that great sort of smoky look in Detroit, and then when you get to LA, it gets all sunny and nice. And the ending, again, the hotel room ending is just the best. The fight going out of the hotel is great too, with the mob guys who just won't give up for the most part.
I think it was like, I hadn't seen this in a very long time. But I mean, I'm like, holy shit, that's Tom Sizemore. Like I totally like you remember the main characters, but then you're like, holy shit, Tom Sizemore's in there. Chris Penn is in it. You know, they're only in it for maybe 10, 15 minutes, but like you said, you know, it's like this series of vignettes that this couple is sort of passing through. You know, with different characters, and like Tony said, one scene leading directly to the next scene and the next supporting character until you get to the climax at the end. It really is sort of almost like a fable. You know, this sort of unrealistic sort of, I don't know what the word would be for it, but, you know, almost like a fantasy film as they just sort of, you know, glide through this. Well, not glide, but, you know, make it through this story to the end and, you know, your happy ending. So it's a good one. I'm glad I own it. It's not something I'm going to watch all the time because I think back in the 90s, I did watch it like 1,000 times, but it's a good one to own for now.
I'll point out two of my favorite character actors of all time are in it. Paul Ben Victor.
Okay.
He's the bald mobster. You
Yeah.
remember him as not the Greek in The Wire. And also Kevin Corrigan, who is just amazing in everything he does.
Paul Ben Victor was great in John from Cincinnati.
Yes.
You know, where he plays like the lackey to that one, the heroin dealer, distributor.
Yep.
And in The Chosen, he also plays Herod Antipas, of all people. So he's fantastic in that.
Yep.
All right, Tony, anything you wanted to add?
No, that's about it. I also love, what's his face? God, I can't think of the actor's name. The guy who's the producer.
Saul Rubinek.
Dude,
Yeah,
so good. He's so
great.
good.
He plays that character all the time, though. He played that character in I guess it was a Next Generation, or it was a Star Trek episode where he plays like a rich collector, and he's collected things, and he steals data. Yeah, I guess it was Next Generation then.
Yeah.
And he's the same exact kind of guy.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, they catch him, and he's behind the glass. You know, and and he's like, that really must give you satisfaction. And Dana's like, no, I'm an android. Like, you know, I don't really have any.
Yep.
But the way that, Brent Spiner was really great. That was a good episode. All right, let's get to the part in the stream where we rate film. This channel has a rating system that goes from 0 to 5 up by halves. So 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, all the way to 5. So 0, for example, would be I'd rather have a huge paper cut right across my eyelid, all the way to 5, which is this is the journey, this is the destination, this is why we watch films in the first place. Tony D, what would you give Tony Scott's True Romance?
I got to give it a 5. I love it.
Okay. All right. So no room for improvement.
Just a question. Really. I mean, you know, I think it's every scene is nice and tight. There's not a lot of fat on this movie at all. I mean, if I'm really going to nitpick, I would like maybe some better music in it, but I was fine with it.
Okay. All right. Proud Sicilian. Just kidding. Not from his family's from Casadrino. What would you give True Romance?
I give it a 4. It's great. I'll watch it anytime it's on. It's got some of the best individual scenes, the most quotable scenes of all time. It does have some drawbacks. I wish it was directed by Tarantino and not Tony Scott. It would have been miles better. But, you know, it's a fantastic movie and everyone's in it. And I'll watch it every single time.
Okay. So we've got a 5 and a 4. I'm going to go with a 4. I think it is top tier entertainment. It's not breaking the stratosphere into that real upper category, you know, at least where I would place a 4.5 or a 5. I've seen it a million times, hadn't seen it for a long time, thoroughly enjoyed watching it again. But yeah, I would stick with a 4 on this one. I don't think it's as good as Man on Fire. I do think it's better than The Hunger, though. And probably in the top, I think Man on Fire and this are his top 2. I was just looking at his filmography the other day. You've got True Romance, Man on Fire, the original Top Gun, which I haven't seen in so long. I remember not being all that impressed about it. Crimson Tide, which is good. Enemy of the State, The Hunger, Spy Games, Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, The Last Boy Scout, Days of Thunder.
Oh, I love The Last Boy Scout. I think that's highly underrated.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Revenge.
Script by Shane Black on that one.
Beverly Hills Cop 2. I didn't know he directed
Oh,
that.
no shit.
That's
Domino.
not bad.
Wait, did he do The Fan?
I think it's a different. I think it's a different The Fan movie.
No, the one with De Niro and Wesley Snipes. Yeah, the baseball movie.
He did that one too?
Yeah, he did that one.
Who wrote that for him?
I don't know. I'm looking at it on I don't know. I'm looking at it on Wikipedia. So I'm not looking at it on IMDb. What else did we have? The Fan. Is that it after The Fan? Beat the Devil, The A-Team. He did The A-Team?
A-Team.
I heard it was fun, but it looked.
Oh, it's not good. It's
No.
not. No, it's not good. You know what? Actually, because here's the thing. I'm considering I don't know what else to pick. Like I could pick something else just for the sake of covering Tony Scott, but I kind of covered the three that I want to talk about. I was thinking about throwing in, and I think he's not even related to it, but I was thinking about doing The Gray, but maybe I'll get to Joe Carnahan another time. I think we've done the three that I want to do for this. There's no one that I haven't seen here, and I kind of like to do half of the movies that way. So unless somebody has a burning desire for a Tony Scott request, we may just take next week off and come back for Spike Lee in July.
All right.
Yeah, I think that'll work. All right. My thanks to Tony DiGirolamo, author of The Pineys. Tony, plug something for us.
Look for the Pineys Book 21 in July, and I will be doing events, of course, all week, all weekend. Let's see, what's the next one I have that's open to the general public? It would be.
What are you doing? Things for a private audience?
Well, I do a lot of like senior centers and.
Okay.
For the seniors.
I'll
be at the Swedesboro Library on June 24th at 6:30 p.m. for How to Hunt the Jersey Devil.
Ooh.
It's very important. All right. And if you get a chance to go, please go. That's how I ended up meeting Tony, and he really does put on a fantastic presentation, and his books are a lot of fun. I own quite a few.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Proud Sicilian, anything you want to plug?
Yeah, look for my band. We are called Ye Old Bottom Turns. We play all the music that Quentin Tarantino loves, especially the surf music. So look for us at a town near you, somewhere in central New Jersey soon.
All right. For this show, we're taking the week off next week. It's summertime.
All right.
Let's enjoy the summer. We will be back in July. For a director that I love, but I usually hate his movies, I'm talking about Spike Lee.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to that and getting into some Tony Scott. The movies don't have that much depth to them. They're kind of like high-end entertainment. But with Spike Lee, definitely a lot to talk about. Looking forward to that very much. Okay, my thanks to Tony DiGirolamo. My thanks to the Proud Sicilian. We will see you all in the next